Hi, everybody, and welcome to 5 Minutes with John and Mark. John, you'd be delighted to know that I've got a blurred background, just like you.
Just like me, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a hotel room, and I thought it's not that glamorous, so I'll blur it this time.
Yeah, my room is not glamorous at all, Mark. So
yeah, I have seen that, and yeah, I agree. We've got a few minutes to talk about a subject called producing a feedback culture within our organizations. I'm just going to remind folk with this quick screen share about where our energies lie within Goodfoot, all the way through the pyramid of setting up a desire for work by looking at well-being, and then building up personal skill sets, managerial skill sets, all the way through to leadership and culture direction. And I'm guessing actually the feedback culture is almost at the top here, John, isn't it? The ideas for managers, senior managers, even execs, middle managers to set up a culture of feedback within their teams.
And it provides an opportunity to steer direction, I think, the top two.
Yeah, absolutely. So this arena is, well, I think it's local management all the way to the top, really, about what do I want a feedback culture, and why might I want it? And what does it actually mean? I guess it means, for me, and obviously we'll share our thoughts in this short video, but for me, it means people talking to each other about the truth. That's it. Now, we have to be subtle about some truths and kind, but we need to know the truth to make good business decisions. If the stats we're getting are not right, if the stories we're getting are not right, not accurate, not truthful, then the business makes mistakes, the organization makes mistakes. If the whole purpose of feedback for me is to get the truth. And it's the truth so that we can make better organizational decisions. So we've both got a couple of tips. I'll just kick off with a tip on that element, which is people don't tell us the truth unless they feel comfortable with us. We all do it. We kind of cover the truth with a slight blanket of good PR for ourselves. We have to do that because we're trying to be, well rewarded in our companies, in our organizations. So people that will only reveal truth which is kind of exposes them a little bit. If they feel they trust and if they feel comfortable. So I would encourage managers to get to know their people on a very personal level, so that it is harder to hide the truth. It is more advantageous just to be honest and to be truthful, and then feedback gives the result that we want, which is the truth. Otherwise, I've seen, if we don't know our staff very well, it's inevitable that the feedback is slightly distorted from what's really true, and that causes us problems. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, if you've got something to add on that one.
I do. Before we started the video, I was looking at an article by Forbes. They always do some interesting articles and a bit of research and things, and they'd come up with a few ideas around this area, and it was interesting. You kicked off with truthfulness, because one of their sort of big suggestions was setting up a mechanism that you can get more closely to the truth of what people are feeling. They talked about setting up either weekly or monthly challenges in relation to, like, say, polling. So they suggested polling was quite a good way of getting regular feedback, and the more regular that it happens, that the more likely you are to get to the truth of how people are feeling. But I liked what you said, Mark, because I think that you can poll on anything, but actually what are you polling about? So maybe there's a dual thing here, is having that regularity of asking the questions, trying to get the feedback, but also making sure the questions you're asking are honest and open. And maybe even challenging in some ways to both the organisation and the individual.
Yeah, I like that, and I think it's an intention. Again, it's all culture is intention, isn't it? And if we intend to set a place where the truth comes out, why? Because we want to make good decisions. Very simply. Then we figure we need the mechanisms, as you said, the right questions, the right relationships to do it. And the other tip I've learned over the years, having not got it right to start with. But I used to think manager's job was, it was the manager that had to do all the thank you, the manager that had to do all the praise, the manager that had to do the appreciation. My job as a manager, I've got to motivate my people, was the traditional thought. And then my job to give feedback. And it began to dawn on me much later in my career that actually, if you can set up feedback between team members, you break the back of it really, really well, because people get used to saying to each other, look, I really appreciate what you've done, thank you, because most feedback should be thank you feedback, right? That sets the comfortable tone. And to get team members to thank each other for what they're doing, and then they'll gradually grow into, could you do this a little bit differently, please? And you'll have a feedback mechanism going on between people rather than the manager having to take sole responsibility for all feedback. I think that's a big mistake. Well, it was with me. Allow the team members to feedback to each other and encourage it. And talk in a team meeting about how can we give feedback to each other better, everybody? How could we do that? And let the team own it a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, Mark, because I learned a valuable lesson a few years ago where I'd done something that the team had asked for, working in a law firm, and I did it really well, and then, you know, got them the results that they wanted, and I was quite upset that no one really, well, noticed, if I'm honest.
Yeah, nobody said that.
Yeah, no, but it taught me a valuable lesson is that if you do take action by doing things that people want you to do, also communicate it. You know, tell people you're taking action, because they'll think that you're listening to them, and also you're going to get the feedback from them. You know, right. Yes, actually, John, you did do a good job. Or no, actually, this wasn't what we wanted. So I think communication, take action, but communicate you've actually taken the action.
Yeah, nice. Well, thank you, John. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you, everybody, for watching. That was 5 minutes or so with John and Mark. John, I don't think we've ever hit 5 minutes. We've been less, we've been more, but we'll have to have an aim sometime in the next few months of hitting 5 minutes to the second.
We'll have a timer on the screen or something.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time, and see you again.